Okay, I think is everybody settled in on their mat or towel? Okay. Usually we don't have, usually we would put 20 people in the yoga room and it'd be a little more intimate, but this works perfect. So I'm just going to go through kind of some principles of breathing. You're probably all like, oh, what do I have to know about breathing? I know how to breathe already. You hear a lot about breathing with respect to meditation. And what people don't, so I was fortunate enough to do some research with Dr. Vranich. So she's out of New York, but she works with a lot of MMA fighters, SWAT team, firefighters, and it's how you breathe under extremely stressful situations. So if you're getting choked out on a mat, how do you stay conscious? If you're in a gunfight, how do you keep yourself calm and do what you need to do? And so there's different ranges that we can talk about for breathing. Today, where I'm going to take you to kind of some relaxation, I'm going to make you hate me for about 2 minutes, and then you're going to get a little bit high after, and then I'm going to actually kind of try to put you to sleep. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways that we can use breathing, and there's a lot of different books and information out there right now, but there's 3 principles that I'm going to kind of talk about today. Okay. The first is how you actually breathe and what your breathing muscles are. So if you're running and you're doing a lot of running and you're not going at a very fast pace and you're getting pain in your shoulders, you're not breathing the right way. Okay? And so we can fix that. You can also use breathing to dissociate. So if you're running, you're close to the end of a marathon, end of a half marathon, whatever you're doing, how do you dissociate your mind from all the pain in your body? I'll take you and show you how to do that today. Okay? Breathing can also really help you get to sleep. And I'll show you a 2-minute breathing exercise that may put you to sleep tonight. I have a lot of people that snore when I do it right after. Or tonight when you try it, it'll help get you to sleep. Okay? So there's a lot of information out there. I'm going to kind of give some specific talks about the information that's sort of important. First thing to know, your breathing muscle, everybody put your hands right under your ribs. It's right here, okay? That's your diaphragm. Another hat I wear is I'm an anatomist, so I dissect human bodies for a living. So I've seen a lot of diaphragms. The diaphragms run right under your rib cage, and interestingly enough, when we breathe in, your diaphragm kind of relaxes, okay? So when I exhale, everybody put your hand on your stomach. When you exhale, it should be like this. When you inhale, it should do this. So you're going to hear vertical versus horizontal breathing, okay? So everybody, I want you to take a really deep breath right now. Deep as you can go. If your shoulders went up, you're a vertical breather. We want to change that to horizontal. Okay? If you take a deep breath with your diaphragm, this is what it looks like. If I take a deep breath with my shoulders, why does that matter? So when you're a shoulder and a vertical breather, that's tied to the upper lobes of your lung. Okay? So on your right side, you got 3 lobes to your lungs. On your left side, you got 2 lobes. Your upper lobes are tied to your sympathetic nervous system. So that makes me more anxious. That's my fight or flight. Right? So if somebody's really anxious, you say, take a deep breath. They go, well, that just is making them more anxious. Okay? Now, if you take all your parasympathetic nervous system that relaxes you is tied to the lower lobes of your lung. So if you want to relax, use your diaphragm, okay? And it does sometimes take training to train between a vertical breathing and horizontal breathing, okay? So I want everybody to lay down right now. Okay, put one hand on your stomach and the other hand right on the middle of your chest. Okay? So when you breathe, we're going to start off by breathing out. Okay? So that's usually a little bit easier. Think of your lungs as balloons. So you want to blow all the air out. If you blow all the air out, guess what? It's going to be really easy to get air in because you're just changing pressure. So put your hand on your stomach, and I want you to squeeze your stomach and go and breathe out as hard as you can, as much as you can. When you think you've expelled all your air, keep going. So go. Pause. Now take a breath in. Again. Go hard on the exhale. The harder you go on the exhale, the more oxygen you're going to bring on the inhale. So again, when you breathe out, your stomach should be going in. When you breathe in, your stomach should be popping out. Okay, now pause for a second. Keep breathing, but just pause for a second. Who wears a heart rate monitor when they run? Okay, most of you. In the first 5 to 10 minutes, what's your heart rate doing? What's that? It's always high. Okay? So usually the first 5 or 10 minutes, your heart rate's really high. Part of that is your breathing is out of sync with what your feet are doing. Okay? And so we always think of warm-up. Today we did some warm-ups. We did some warm-up on the track. You're warming up your muscles. We're warming up our cardiovascular system. I'm going to give you a 1-minute respiratory warm-up that you should do before you run. Okay? And really, it's just to engage your diaphragm. What happens when we sit all day? Our diaphragm gets stuck. And it goes kind of semi-paralyzed because you're not breathing with your diaphragm. Right? You're hunched over in a chair if you're working at a desk, and you're not breathing a lot with your diaphragm. So everybody put their hand on their belly again. Okay? And now this is going to be, we're just going to do pulsations for about 30 seconds. So what that's going to look like, you're just going to go. Okay, go ahead and start. You want to kind of feel your diaphragm bouncing. If you feel your stomach bouncing up and down, that's good. Okay, that means you're using your diaphragm. That's what you want to use. Okay, now stop. Okay, now I want us to go back what we just did. So I want you to do a hard exhale. So you're going to go. Now just take a big inhale. You feel like you're moving more air. What's that? Yes, you do. Yeah, because you warmed up your diaphragm a little bit, okay? Just by warming up your diaphragm, getting it to be relaxed, you're going to be able to breathe a little easier. Okay, if you just pause and stop for a second, this will be the uncomfortable part of the session. Who gets tired because their legs are tired? What makes you want to stop when you run? Is it your legs? What's that? Sometimes. Sometimes legs? Okay. Always legs? Okay. Chest? Breathing? Okay. Okay. So if there's any reason medically that you shouldn't go to extreme exertion, then don't do this exercise. It's only going to be 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay? So what you're going to do is just what we did. You're going to breathe in and out as deep and as hard as you can for 90 seconds, if you can make it to 90 seconds. Okay? And then you're going to lay there and just relax for a bit. And you might feel a little bit dizzy. That's okay. It's just extra oxygen in your body. Okay? So are you ready? You're going to start, and it's going to be like this. You're going to go. Ready? Go. Harder. It's like you're the last 100 meters of a race. Push it, push it. Come on, you can go harder than that. Push, push. That's it. Come on, keep pushing, keep pushing. You got 20 seconds left, as hard as you can go. Ten seconds. Last 10, come on. Okay, stop. Arms by your side, just relax. So the other thing about your respiratory system is it's closely tied to your brain. So anytime you're telling yourself to quit when you're running, it's coming from your lungs, not your legs. Okay? Your legs might burn, but you can just see just by laying there, if you try to get somebody to do that for 5 minutes, they're going to have a tough time to do that for 5 minutes and push themselves for 5 minutes. You weren't using your legs, you were just using your lungs. Okay, so now the last thing we're going to go over is what's the difference between breathing through your mouth and breathing through your nose. Okay? If you breathe through your nose, there's two things that happen. Nasal breathing is tied to your parasympathetic nervous system. So that helps you relax. It also releases 300% more nitric oxide when you breathe through your nose. So that helps your body relax and your vessels dilate. When you're running outside, when it's really cold out, you want to breathe through your nose because it also warms the air. Okay? It's not always easy to do. Even with a nose the size of mine, it's still hard to get a lot of air in there. Okay? So this time what you're going to do, we're just going to take 20 breaths. Okay? I want your hands by your side. Okay? And you're going to breathe through your nose. So your first 5 breaths are just going to be regular shallow breaths through your nose. Okay? When we hit 5 breaths, I'm going to tell you to go deeper. You're going to go to about 50% as deep of a breath as you can do through your nose. When we hit 10 breaths, you're going to go 3/4 of deep of a breath as you can do. And the last 5 breaths that we're going to do, you're going to go as deep as you can through your nose. And then you're just going to relax for a minute. Okay, and ready, and we'll start now. So start with your first breath. I'll cue you when you go a little bit deeper. So start with your first breath, go. Through your nose. Okay, now these next 5 are going to be deeper, about half as deep as you can go. These next 5, 3/4 as deep as you can go. Still go through your nose. Now these last 5, as deep as you can go. Keep your eyes closed. And at the end of these 5, you're just going to relax for a minute. Okay, keep your eyes closed. We're going to do one more round of that. Okay, and go. First 5 breaths, just shallow through your nose. Next 5, let's go half as deep as you can go. The next 5, 3/4 as deep as you can go. And now the last 5 as deep as you can go, and then just relax for a minute. Okay, slowly open your eyes. How do you feel? So I'm going to give you a little homework for the next week. So before you go to bed, for the next week, every night, you got to do those 2 rounds. That's it. It's 2 or 3 minutes. Okay? Just do that and see if it helps you sleep or sleep better. And you can't tell me you didn't have time to do it, because you do have to breathe, and that's all you're doing. Okay. Okay, so everybody slowly sit up. Okay, thank you for giving me 10 minutes of your time. And yeah, the breath is pretty amazing. You can do a lot of different things with it. And just at least do that at night. Do a couple rounds of that before you go to sleep. And you should sleep a little bit better. Recovery is really important for training. So the better you sleep, the better your workouts are going to be. Okay? So thank you. I'm going to turn it back over to Connor.